Hello, runners, watchers, and gods of the time stream. No, this is not our usual time or day, but that's because we have a very special interview with JLP, the wonderful, gorgeous JLP slash Fahima herself. Don't let her fool you. She wasn't late. You guys always know it's my problem. It's my time. So because we are running a little late, because that's how the cookie crumbles, let's bring on the beautiful, beautiful JLP herself. Just like dive right into it. We were already like talking backstage. So
I know. I started talking about it. I was like, wait. We're going to do this on the stream. Don't give it all we know.
Same. I was like, oh yeah, let's actually do that. So thank you again for taking your time to do this. You are
Yeah,
amazing.
thanks for having me.
And yeah, no, me and the community, we love you. And any chance we can get to hear your amazing wisdom, I'm there. So I kind of want to go backwards and go in chronological order because I was telling you this is the first time I have my claws into you. So I kind of wanted to back up because I actually know most of the characters and cast's thoughts and opinions about the big No Nizaron scene. But I have absolutely no idea what exactly was going on in Fahima's mind, nonetheless JLP's mind. I know it seemed like Fahima was very for being able to make the choice, but I don't actually know where she would have gone if she were to make it. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I remember thinking that my interpretation of what the Chrono Dragon was saying is that there's a possibility that another group of heroes could save the world. And so I think I remember, I'd have to watch that scene again to get the exact details because I was so emotional during that scene. And that was also when I was in Utah, so I was just like all out of sorts. I think I just remember Fahima was trying to maximize the efforts of saving people.
So what would Fahima have chosen if given the actual choice?
Well, remind me what the interpretation of the choice was.
It was either save the boy and lose your friends, your memories, and go into a different timeline where you guys wouldn't be the heroes of Bingo, but Bingo would be saved, or don't save the boy and leave the way that the timeline is, essentially.
Right. Yeah. So I think Fahima was leaning towards the former, but again, that's because I interpreted it as there could be another group of people who would save everybody. Although I don't think that was explicit. I think we found out afterwards, or maybe Jeff clarified or something, that it was only a possibility. But with me thinking that it could be likely, Fahima was willing to give up her memories to save Bingle and also have there be a high chance of another set of heroes. Like, she doesn't need the glory. Fahima doesn't need any kind of glory. She was willing to give that to somebody else.
Well, I actually think that's what was so fun in the moment, even watching you guys in the scene, is I really feel that was up to interpretation. Because it sounded like James' character was more in the approach of, we don't know if there's going to be another set of heroes, so we have to do it. But I think it was fun how it was like, it was basically what you guys were interpreting it in that moment, in that quick time, which I think is it's phenomenal. And I loved how Fahima was very, as usual, fits her character, very strong and vocal in what she was thinking at the time, at least. So I did want to ask that, because I've been curious just to kind of get some insight from you specifically, from the moment that they got zapped out of their bodies at the forges, right? Fast forward that technical millisecond, all of the past timeline, back to where Fahima went back into her body. How had she changed technically as a person in those like 10 seconds of existence?
Oh man, I feel she changed a lot in that side quest. I think it's a shame that we can't be back in the studio because just like, man, Fahima's growth, I wish it could just be captured on the the big screen, the good cameras. I think that she is less brash. I think that she got in touch with her darker side for sure. I mean, there's definitely a couple of instances where she did questionable things.
Mm-hmm.
I think she thinks things through more thoroughly. Um, her emotional tenor is much more it's less all over the place.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, I don't know, but she still has a long ways to go. I think that what's happening right now is going to change her a lot too. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know what Jeff has in store, but
Right. And we'll get there. But since you did bring up the studio, that was actually something I did want to ask you as well. As far as we know, we all obviously we all say it. We do want to go back to the studio, and we do want to get back. And by the way, big screen or not, camera or not, you are gorgeous and beautiful, even in your own
well, thank you.
but I did want to ask you, all of the hardships aside, we're so lucky and thankful that you guys get to still do the show. And I was
Hmm.
curious, what has been your favorite moment or your favorite role play scene in the quarantine time of the show?
I mean, I have to say what happened in episode, what is it, 68 or 67, the Fahima moment when she crossed over. I mean, that's the moment, at least the moment where somebody knows something about her dad is the moment that I've been waiting for since we started
Mhm.
playing. And it's been a year and a half. And finally, we have someone who knows something about him. And plus, Fahima got to, show a little bit of emotional range too. That's something that I feel she's been missing because she is a new adventurer. She's young. And there's been a lot of times where I've sat at the table and, the other characters have had strong emotional responses to things, like especially, Jared's a really good example. So is Ron, because of their trauma in the past. And Fahima just doesn't really have any trauma.
Mhm.
So she's almost like, I don't know, she's getting all of that trauma now and during the adventure. And so in the future, she will have stronger emotional responses to things.
Well, it's funny that you say that because again, this is my interpretation. Is it's almost like Fakima has always had strong reactions to things, but I agree with you. It's almost like her reactions are very present and with what's going on in the
Mhm.
moment,
Right.
especially with her limited experience. That's what stems from her reactions. It's just the here and the now, and this is her kind of raw reaction to it, which it's just kind of beautiful. Especially playing like the young character and the inexperienced character, and so I see what you mean though when you say like this is it, like this is that moment that's now going to Fahima slowly moving from no longer like questioning what her morals are and in the moment this is going to definitely impact her moving forward. Like this is her the character
Yeah.
saying the moment.
She's like Sansa in like the first couple seasons, like she
Oh
has
yeah.
strong opinions, sure, and she has a strong personality, but it's not until later when girl has gone through some trauma that
Mhm.
her reactions are now like really grounded in
Yeah.
something.
Very well put. An amazing example. Yeah. There's a lot of comparisons that since you said that I see between those two. Is that a coincidence or
Yes, it is a coincidence. I
okay.
I, I haven't drawn that comparison before now.
Good one though. It's a good one. Uh, so I do. Okay, so then let's dive into that moment. One huge. Uh, it was Jeff is amazing at what he does.
Yes, he
Uh,
is.
but can you walk me through? We got to see Fahima's raw reactions, and I think that's one of my favorite scenes with you because even though she's not vocalizing it. You can tell Fahima's thought process throughout that whole scene. You can see her questioning it. It was so raw and beautiful. And I kind of want to hear what JLP was thinking in that moment as she was playing Fahima a little bit.
Well, the first offer was knowledge and power, which has been presented to her before in a sense. And so that
Right.
was easy. You know, Fahima has never showed any desire for power that would overshadow her love for her friends. Um, and so the second offer came through with Zanelka, and that's when I was like,
Mm.
this is Jeff playing hardball with me, you know, like this is him trying to get Fahima to say yes and to make this hard for Fahima. And it was hard, and it really pulled on her emotions. But in the end, it's kind of like simple math, you know, like the entire world versus 5 people versus one person, Sanelka. Um, and then the third offer came through, which was Conroy. And
Oof.
that's when I was like, I feel like Jeff's telling me that I can say yes,
Oh.
although I don't know what that would mean for us, because I mean, 3 times, that's a lot of offers, you know?
Oh yeah.
And especially using the trump card of oopsie, don't want to say that word. The ace card, um, uh, of her dad. That's like the only thing that would get her to turn. Um,
Mm.
so I
So
kind of
was
knew
it
this was
was
her
it
moment.
was it pure emotion for her? Because as you said, but Zanelka that hit her, but she decided, then I'm quoting James's quote here, but the needs of the many versus the needs of the few, right?
Mhm.
So putting Conroy in that picture and putting her father, who she has been looking for insert how many days here, like just well, what kind of changed her mind? Because like I said, I think you did such a good job at being in the moment and kind of trying to rationalize for Hima why that was a good decision or why that would be her decision. But like
Mhm.
what emotion or what thought clicked to let you think? Because I feel like that was JLP. Like, okay, Jeff is saying it's okay to say yes, which I love because I love your insight. But what was Fahima's like clicking moment to be like, oh, okay, like I'm saying yes. Like, whoops.
Well, her dad is looking for the wardens. He's an important piece of this that we don't know anything about yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, that is true that she kind of chose finding out about her dad over, you know, potentially saving the whole world, but that's a hard choice because it's kind of what I said to I think it was Meep, what Fahima said to Meep, where she was thinking, I can save my friends, I can save Zanelka. They have a good chance of thwarting the Ashen Mage if they stay alive. If I don't go with the Ashen Mage, then she for sure. I mean, this is Fahima thinking
Mm-hmm.
as a player. I'm like, would he kill us all? I don't think so. But as Fahima, you know, she's for sure gonna kill us all, and then we have no chance of stopping this. So if we are the chosen 5, why would I do that? It just seems like it's a double-edged sword, and one includes saving your friends and survival, and the other is killing your friends and possibly aiding in taking over the world. But you can't help but think maybe there's a second chance once I'm on the inside.
Uh, which I love. I love that. Gordon Played in chat says that's interesting. Getting closer to Conroy means getting closer to her goal, and that is interesting insight. Because, like I said, in that moment too, it takes a. How do you not? First of all, Fahima was definitely. It was. I think the community, for the most part, agreed. It was very much a hostage situation. It wasn't too much of an actual choice. Now, again, I know Jeff was completely prepared for you to say no, but it was almost so human and natural for Hema to just automatically start rationalizing. Well, what is the good? How do I, like you said, like, oh, well, this leads me closer, kind of that rationalization.
Yeah.
Plus, it was Fahima who originally offered to be like a double agent when Calcutta first offered it to her.
Oh, I don't remember that.
When you first found the book, you were like, well, why not just say yes? We could get inside information. That was like her first.
Well, good to know I'm being consistent.
Yeah, well, I have obnoxiously good memory. So, but yeah, so then moving a little forward and backwards, I loved, and this is where I kind of reached out to you a little bit. I loved getting to know more about your insight of how Fahima was handling being in the baddie's lair. I'm calling it the baddie's lair. Is there a name for it? Because that's what we're calling it. And I told you, I was kind of like, what is Fahima doing? Like, as far as just like talking to Yan Mo and even her conversation with Calcutta. But I really thought like your explanation made perfect sense. So I was kind of hoping you could share that with everybody else, kind of your thought process when.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start somewhere specifically? Because so much happened in
Yeah,
that
I know. Yeah.
episode.
So specifically, when I was like, "What is she doing?" I was referring to the conversation with Yan Mo,
Mm.
and kind of her, overly, "Yo, look, this is exactly what happened, and this is what you need to know." It was kind of like, "Whoa."
Yeah, so I guess I'll just talk about kind of what we talked about in our messaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I guess, yeah, you hit the nail on the head by saying it felt a little desperate, and that's true. It was an act of desperation. Um, she had not had the chance to think through anything. Um, Myself as a player, I had kind of imagined what I would say to Yanmo, but what I had predicted, like when you're going into the next week thinking like, okay, what are the million scenarios that I could be in, and what would my character think about these things, so I can kind of have a handle on that. I had imagined that it would take time, that Fahima might be there for days or weeks and then
Mhm.
slowly get to know Yanmo and kind of like drop little hints here and there, or at least have time to formulate. But we walked in with Yanmo and I didn't say anything to him, and I felt like there was some air there, and I was like, oh shoot, is this like Jeff giving me the opportunity to talk to Yanmo? Because I'm not ready. I'm not ready to talk to Yanmo. Fahima's not ready to talk to Yanmo. And then there was another time after that there was some space for Fahima to talk to Yanmo, and I was like,
Yeah. Here we go.
okay, I think this is my shot. All right, here we go. And I just like threw spaghetti at the wall to see what stuck. I mean, like I just said everything that I had, because why would he believe Fahima? I mean, she's just going to sound like a crazy person no matter what she says. And I was kind of relating it to the difference between like Brick and Fahima, where if it was Brick or maybe a different character that I have, they might have said something like, hey, why are you doing this? Coming from a place of love. There are people who loved you, and when you
Mm.
seek power, it's not going to bring you the love that you want. The people are not going to love you if you take it by force, if you kill millions of people. Fahima's not that character. Fahima doesn't come from a place of empathy and love a lot of the time. So
Mm.
she kind of went for the what could somebody say to her if she was crossing over to the dark side, which she kind of is. I would think that they would say, what would your father think of this? What would your friends think of
Mm.
this? Do you remember a time in your life when there were more important things than power? Do you remember a time in your life when things were better? You don't have to make this choice, and it's okay. There are second chances.
Beautiful. Now, whether Yanmo has had those experiences is another story.
Well,
But
I was hoping to get some, like, I threw so many things at him, and I was like,
mm,
okay, there's got to be some vulnerability in here. There's got to be
oh
something that
yeah.
he reacts to or flares up at, and he didn't really give much leeway. And now I'm afraid that he's going to go to the Ashen Mage and be like, this girl's trying to turn me. Don't trust her. But then again, then he would have to reveal the details about himself and details about his
Right.
past that he perhaps wouldn't want the Ashen Mage to know. So, yeah, Ezekiel, JLP, you planted seeds. Yeah, I'm hoping that that's at least, something good that came out of that interaction because I felt like a failure after that. I was like, "Ugh, man, so obvious. Oh, but hopefully
See,
something
okay,
works."
but see, I think, and this is what I probably failed at telling you, is I really, really thought that that was so in tune to Fahima's character. It is so like Fahima. One, we all know that she's not really great at the charisma type. Like, that's
Mhm.
just so her. And so for her to, like you said, literally throw the spaghetti at the wall, I thought that was like the most Fahima thing to do. And it really was beautiful. And as Chat's been saying, like coming from Fahima's background, the spaghetti, what spaghetti noodle would fly with me the most, and I do think that she planted seeds. I don't think I definitely think whether it's a good or bad spin, his wheels are spinning, and I think
Yeah, and
that's
if it was bad, then okay, well, it's a game, and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what
choice
happens when Fahima
is.
makes a bad choice. It's funny playing a character who's not charismatic because I auditioned for the dungeon run with a very charismatic character, and I usually play high charisma characters. So being like awkward was something that I definitely have been figuring out, like what's too far and what's not too far.
Interesting. Do
Yeah.
you have you found it like a challenge, or do you find it more fun, or?
I think it's challenging,
Mm,
but I've gotten better at it. I was just rewatching the old Zanelka scenes, like
mm,
the infamous scene where she sucks her blood,
yeah.
and I was like, that looking back was too awkward. Like I could have been less awkward. I wish I was less awkward, because that was me still trying to finesse how Fahima would react. Because the original conception of her character was
Interesting.
that she wouldn't even like talk to people. She had a
Right.
best friend and they would do all the talking. So I think some of that has bled in. But all that to say, when I re met up with Zanelka, I was like, okay, this is the time. You regretted not being more suave with this girl? Well, here you go. You better do something about it.
Well, very lovely scene, by the way. And I think you playing it and trying to figure it out has again. I If you've learned anything about me, I don't just say things. If I say it, it's because I mean it. And I really do think that it's been so organic with Fahima. My favorite awkward scene with Fahima, still to this day, is the sexy bartender scene where
Oh
she's
God.
just like, I loved it. It felt so like, again, to Fahima's character, and it's almost as if you're learning it. Fahima is too, because she has, even just through Lily and Civ and their experiences. It's the romance novel she's reading. It's almost as if she's trying to find her finesse and find her groove. And I think
Yeah.
you could tell that even in that moment with Sanelka, Fahima was like, yeah, you could see it in her face. She was like, this is my moment. I get it. We're in a baddie's lair. We're in a cave. Like, but this is my moment. Like, that's because Fahima so wants that, you know? So just, I love your insight as to how this is kind of your first stab at the not charismatic character. I think
Well, I have had
that's
one
great.
other non-charismatic character that I played for a while, a barbarian, and the DM did pull me aside. Well, we had a chat about character, and she was like, "So I think Kira's a little, how do I say this? A little too dumb."
Really?
Yeah, that was Pebbles. Hi, she wants her dinner. Yeah, and so that's always in the back of my mind, like, okay, what's too far? What's too dumb? What's too awkward?
Mm.
I was gonna
Well,
say
doesn't
something about just speaking of all of this, I definitely at the start of the dungeon run thought to myself, I want her to have a character arc. I want her to start somewhere that is like not making good choices, just
mm,
like she's so fresh and I wanted her to end up somewhere else, like in a more grounded place, or I didn't really know where. But I'm glad that we're starting to sort of get into that. We're starting to sort of see her arc a little
yeah.
more.
Yeah, and it, like I said, it's, I feel like it's almost, for as a viewer, it's almost like a gift as well to see Fahima, because like you said, Civ came with his arc and Deck James definitely came with his arc. It's almost as a gift as a viewer to see Fahima before the start of her arc, to see how she was before, kind of her naive, her innocentness, and see truly as Fahima grows, we get to see that like full blown. We don't get to just hear about her backstory. We got to kind of live some of her backstory, you know.
Oh yeah, this adventure is Fahima's backstory pretty much.
No,
But
it's great.
yeah, like year 2, year 3 is like where Fahima might have started, and we're seeing everything in the backstory now. Uh
Yes.
yeah. Yep. Do
Which
you want to
which
come say hi?
yeah, I think she
Come
does.
here. Come here. Come here.
Oh. I actually was going to show you my cat Lily too, but I had to feed her. She was
Your
going to
cat's name's
audition.
Lily?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. She's 7, so my Lily came first. Important for everybody to know.
My Pebbles is
But
7 too.
oh, cute. Yeah,
They're
I
the
was
same
gonna have
age.
her
Come here.
audition for me, but she
Can
coming?
she scream like Pebbles does?
I wanted to show you. I did, but I too had to feed her dinner.
Come here. Come say hi. Every time I try to grab her though when it's dinner time, she like sprints away towards her
Because
food
she
bowl.
thinks
Come
she,
here.
yeah, exactly. My
Come
cats are the
here.
same.
Oh my
They should
gosh.
be BFFs. They should. I did wanna, so following Fahima's story arc, which by the way, for those of you who, if you're not by now, don't know what you're doing, but for those of you who haven't checked out her JLP's beautiful diaries of Fahima, right? I think you guys should, because they really do kind of give even more background and insight onto her character. But I did want to follow up with you on one of them. I know she wrote an entry on like her thoughts of the gods,
Oh yeah.
and I thought it was a complete shock and surprise to me when they were in the forges and she was like, let's all pause. Hey Ugo, like I want to pray. Like to me that was very surprising. And I was
Yeah.
wondering if you can tell me where that came from for Fahima to want to do it right then and there and to even pray in the first place.
Yeah, I mean she's definitely, well, she was agnostic.
Was.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that she believes wholly yet in. I mean, it's weird. I mean, you can't really be agnostic in Ein because gods do exist. You know, like they're real and they do things. They give people power. You can't just be like, I don't believe in you when there's kind of evidence right in front of you.
Yeah.
But I think Fahima was just at the end of her rope with finding Conroy. I mean, it's weird because game time, it really hasn't been that long, but in real life, it's been
Mm.
a year and a half. It's been 20 years in the past, and nothing she does has done anything to lead her towards Conroy. So I think she was just like, I mean, and myself as a player, I was like, well, why not? Let's just give it a shot. Let's just see what happens. And I also
Mm.
I don't know why it presented itself to me, but when we got all of those magical items, it just came to me that she wouldn't take any in
Mm.
exchange for some information. Like she doesn't desire magical items the way others do. She does desire spells for sure. Um, but I just thought it'd be cool if she made a sacrifice, and what better way to do that than through a prayer to the Candle Queen?
Mm. So interesting. So forward to her second prayer, uh,
Yeah.
which I still, as a viewer, again, this is just me and my very unofficial opinion. Uh, I still was a little kind of what you said. So maybe I wasn't as it didn't seem like Fahima was really on board or not. Like I definitely got confusion from that. And so when she said basically my question is, does Fahima in that moment or right now, does she think the Candle Queen heard her? Like, does she think that the Ashen Mage reaching out, saying she knew where her dad was, does she think that that was answering her call?
She doesn't know.
Okay.
She doesn't
Okay.
know. Because kind of relating to I mean, people in real life who are like, is it because you're Cancer, or is it because chance and life? I don't think it's because of the stars you were born under. So I think she would need a little more evidence than that to really believe that the Candle Queen is specifically answering her prayers.
Mm-hmm. So do you think was the second prayer from her also just a part of like her kind of a lone, desperate attempt to reach out?
Yeah.
That's so deep. That's so deep.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And how did she feel after her prayer? Does she still feel just as lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff said that there was some sort of like feeling of that washed over her, but
Again, he was not
again, she's not she's gonna need more evidence. And I honestly don't know. As a player, I don't have any plans for her to become a worshiper of the Candle Queen. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay.
There are
Yes,
lots of other gods in his pantheon that we haven't even touched on yet.
I know, and that's why I was curious. I mean, maybe because it was just so much recent exposure, I was curious why Fahima went straight to the Candle Queen. But you're right. Like I think what your explanation was pretty. Pebbles, you're adorable.
Come here. You have to say hi if you're gonna scream.
Yes, Fimic, we are gonna get there. I'm strolling. I promise. So then, let's forward to your conversation with the Ashen Mage.
Okay.
So, I spoilers I know for tomorrow, but I loved it. I loved this whole baddie lair thing. I love that Fahima was separated. I love how, because in general they have this kind of weird, we have to all come together and get, they really do rely on feedback off of each other, and she is alone. So,
I know. I actually, I wish I could turn my camera around and show you guys. I don't think I can. I want to show you how many notes I have. Let me just maybe I can pull it up on my phone.
We can talk about your amazing notes.
This man, the week between making the choice and going into doing the episode, half alone, I was like, oh my God, usually Morgan is the one who has all of this stored in his brain, or at least like the others have other information that I can draw from. And I have a terrible memory. So I was like, I need to take so many notes. I need to like recall specific things. And even between the past episode and tomorrow or Wednesday's episode, I'm going through my brain like, okay, what could happen? Who could I talk to? Okay, so this is what I might think because, this person said this. But did they actually say that? Did they actually say that? Or is that my interpretation of what they said? Because as we all know, Jeff weaves these like really deep, intricate storylines where I think at the time, sometimes we can be like, oh, yeah, they meant this. But then looking back, the puzzle has been revealed and they actually meant something else. And so I'm going back and like trying to find these moments. Let me see if I can show you. So these are my notes. There's a chart, there's bullet points, there's highlights, there's diary entries, there's names, there's so much happening here.
I love it. And it all looks so organized. That's amazing.
It is, to a degree. Oh, she's here. Ah, gotcha.
Hi.
Say hi.
So cute. She's so happy.
She's like, give me dinner. Give me dinner. Stop looking so mad.
I don't want to do this anymore. I love it. Oh my god. She's cute and I'm happy. She doesn't like the fact you're with the baddies at all.
Only if the baddies have food.
Oh, there you go. They have fruit.
What? You don't like it when I hold you like this? Deal with it.
Everybody's saying they love me. And Pebbles, interchangeably.
She's the best.
Okay, so, are you sure she's not gonna scratch you like this?
No, she doesn't scratch or bite. She's a really great cat.
That's adorable.
You can do whatever you want to her.
My cat too. They really should be best friends. Um,
Oh, I wish
so,
cats were better with play dates like dogs.
well, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. You
At the
never know.
Jess meetup, the Jess
Yes,
convention.
exactly. We'll be there. Uh, okay, so what was there was such information drop
Hmm.
to Calcutta's just onto her, and one just for anyone, how awkward must that talk and interaction be? None the less Fahima, like just awkward. So was it also kind of following her like desperation of why she chose to just like, hey, you're cool, let's be friends, I hope there's a connection, like is it kind of following the same lines, or did she have a different strategy for that, for doing that?
I don't think I'm quite following your question.
Because I'm horrible at this.
No, you're great. You're great.
You know how, so Fahima was very like, she just kind of switched her tone to the point where she was like, she literally, her exact words, quoting, she said like, I hope there's a connection between us, referring to the Ashen Mage, and how
I
like,
wish I
you
had your
know,
memory.
like her dad's a liar, and I've been wrong this whole time. I mean, she switched so quickly in that one
Hmm.
conversation, and I'm wondering, just like, was that following our earlier conversation? Was that her continuing just that desperate? I'm gonna throw spaghetti at the wall, or like, what was her thought process for basically kind of taking that approach with the Ashen Mage?
I don't think I can answer your question.
Without spoilers, got it.
Yes, because I think that Fahima's thought process will be revealed
Okay.
in this Wednesday's episode a little more, hopefully.
Wow, you're so
Yeah.
teasing.
I mean,
That's
who knows? Because I don't know what Jeff's going to throw at me, but I mean, I could
right.
at least, have another conversation with Meep to give some insight on what
Mm.
Fahima is thinking. But I can say that there was something that the Ashen Mage said that really changed Fahima's mind about something. And I told Jeff, and he was surprised that I thought that. So
Okay. Did you
I
just
know
throw
that's
another tease?
I know
Just
that's
you just
very
dropped it?
cryptic. It's
Yeah.
very cryptic, and it's probably not as exciting as I'm making it sound, but yeah, I'll definitely share that thought
And
process on Wednesday.
ooh, intrigue, intrigue for sure. Okay, so again, following the same lines, if it does lead to spoilers, obviously, I don't want you to say anything. So as a live chat watching last Wednesday, leading up to the Calcutta's reveal of like what she is, the entire live chat, besides me, was like drow, 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 whatever. And I'm sitting here like, what is that? Because I don't know. And so if you can answer based off of Fahima, is it possible for us to know Fahima's understanding of the? Am I even saying it right? Drow, drow,
Drow?
whatever.
I
I
used to
like to
say
say it.
Dro, but Jeff
Okay,
pronounced it Drow, so that's what
I'm
we're
not
gonna go with.
alone. There you go.
I've also been saying ASMR. I say ASMR wrong. Apparently it's ASMR, but I just don't like how it is
It sounds.
ASMR.
Yes, yes, Ouroboros, yes. The community was very nice enough to shower me with information on what it was afterwards, but just in the live chat, I was like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. So, Bahima, again, if you can share, and it's not a spoiler, can you tell us what Bahima's understanding of the Drow is, if she has any knowledge of them at all up until this point?
Well,
Loosely.
this is kind of one of those things where we don't really know what our characters know until we
Mm,
ask Jeff, because
figured.
they're different. They're going to be different. And especially
Right.
because of, I mean, to be frank, the Black Lives Matter movement, where a
Mm,
lot of racism came to light in Dungeons and Dragons and how it's written, and Wizards of the Coast is now changing and rewriting so much of their material. Drow is, I think, um, part of that writing where, oh, because they're dark elves, they're automatically evil or dark or whatever.
mm,
And I don't think that's going to necessarily be the case in Jeff's world, because I think he's just going to have a different lore with them.
mm.
Um, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how closely it's going to relate to what the Drow are in the books, because I
Right.
mean, Genasi are not the same thing as they are in the books. in Ein. So
yeah. And Jeff is really good at putting his own spin on it so that people can't put too many connections. And no, I think that's a great point. And I guess we will find out later.
Yeah. Well, Fahima does speak Elvish, which
we heard, yeah,
is a dead language.
Yeah, which we also not too long ago learned in Ein. Jeff recently told us that also.
Did he?
I don't know. Did he?
I don't know.
Interesting.
You tell me.
So we will find out more about that then. So I'm curious. Can you? Because it's not like you haven't dropped any more teasers in general. What is Fahima, without spoilers, kind of expecting from all of this? Like, what can we as a viewer expect from Fahima in the upcoming episodes without spoilers?
Well, I think that she's gonna try to be useful. I mean, gather information for sure. Learn more about the Ashen Mage for the benefit of everyone, of her own party, of me, of the audience. Understand what her mission is, and I think it's becoming more clear, kind of like the end game opposing sides, what they might be, because we have the Wardens, we have Calcutta and her crew, but we also have the dragons.
Oh yeah.
And the dragons were fighting the Wardens. So, and then there's the old ones, and whether or not they're aligned with the dragons or not, we don't quite know yet. But we did find their symbol with the symbol of the abyss. So I guess it's just kind of like continuing to figure out what we're going towards.
It's like so much. Just figuring out anything, that's the goal.
Yeah, let me take a look at my notes. What are my notes for next week? Jeff hasn't sent me those new spells yet, so I gotta text him and get those spells from him. I definitely want to try those out.
Yes, thank you for reminding me, because the chat did ask me to ask that spell.
The Inhabit Dead Beast spell.
Yeah. Is that a D&D spell or is that a homebrew spell?
No, I think these are both homebrew.
Just wow.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's gross. But Fahima's okay with it in a sense, because she has said that once the body has expired, it should be used for scientific purposes. And well, I think that falls under this category. I don't even know how she's going to use it yet, because it's kind of crazy. But Jeff does have a tendency to kind of prepare us for what comes next. So we're looking for the Quake. I'm guessing we're looking for the Quake Warden next. And I don't know, maybe there's going to be a lot of dead people in the next the next act. It seems like it. And I also have to figure out more about her dad, because that was so cryptic. Everything she told me was so vague.
Yeah.
And unsatisfactory and frustrating.
Nope.
Yeah. I just gotta figure out more. And I want to be useful to the quest of the heroes of Bingles, should we ever reunite.
Should you? Who knows? Well, I'm excited. I love the fact, I love finding out that Fahima is, technically that spell is okay for her. Like, it falls under her category of usage. So Ashen Mage aside, that is a spell Fahima could see herself using.
Yeah, I mean, the hodgepodges she's not okay with, because that's like cobbling together body parts, which is nasty. But inhabiting a dead beast, that could be okay. I think at least Fahima could rationalize that. Yeah. You know?
Okay.
I also want to know, why does she have so many copies of that book?
Maybe so many. I don't know. I don't know. All the many good questions. I have a list of questions that I'm hoping Fahima asks personally. So we'll see what happens. Because like you said, it's Jeff. He's magical, and it could be anything. It could truly be anything. And if anyone feels like they know what to expect, then you're you're gonna get knocked on your feet. That's just how Jeff operates.
Well, what do you guys want to see in the next episode with Fahima? What are you looking forward to? I imagine pretty similar things.
I don't know. Should we tell you? Is that it? I'm personally looking forward to. I'm looking forward to how Fahima is going to navigate the middle, if that's her choice. I think Fahima, again, my opinion, I think Fahima's very conflicted, and she has kind of what you just said. She's being pulled in so many different directions, and I really want to see how Fahima, since the past timeline, handles it with her more grounded self. I want to see how Fahima stands on her own without the party, because like I said, they not that it's a bad thing, they've just been so used to relying on each other and their information and their morals and coming together for decisions. And I'm really excited to see Fahima be like, this is my situation, this is what's, like you said with Young Mo, this is what I've already done, here's how I'm going to react to my choices, this is how I'm going to react to the situation. I'm just looking forward to her kind of standing on her own, which, you know, is a gift we even get to see.
Yeah. I hope that we have the opportunity to see Fahima be a little more, to make a little more, be more reactive, or to be less reactive and to make more choices, because the last episode was a lot of questions. It was a lot of, I feel powerless. I don't know what's going on. I just need to gather information. And hopefully this next episode, we can start coming to some conclusions and start making some decisions.
Yes, we'll see. So I did want to spend the end of this amazing time with you for funsies, just doing some questions for you and then a little word association game, if you're okay with that.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
So for JLP, I have to ask, who is your favorite character or NPC? Because character's a little. Who is your favorite NPC in this story?
My favorite NPC. I don't know. That's so tough. There's so many. I really liked the Salvage Manders. They were awesome. I love the Hag riddles. But like you, Jess, I also love villains. I love them. Like, I don't know if you've seen The Boys, but my favorite character is Homelander. He's the bad one. Because I think they're so complex and they have their own reasons of why they got to where they are. So I mean, who knows? If we get to see a little more of the Ashen Mage and we kind of get to see her in a more vulnerable position, I'm really hoping that Fahima can have an actual real conversation with her. Perhaps the Ashen Mage could become my favorite NPC. But in general, I like the silly ones. I do like the silly ones and the ones where Jeff really gets to shine, and I think that's why I like the Salvage Manders and the Hag.
Oh, and the Hag.
Yeah.
Which one?
Both.
Okay.
I just like their fortune telling a lot.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, the Chrono Dragon made me weep too, which, I mean, I think that's the first time I've like fully wept on the show. So I think that should count for something.
Yeah. No, Nizaron is no joke. That's for sure. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know you loved the villains. Girl.
Cersei's my favorite character. Jaime and Cersei are my favorite characters of Game of Thrones. Love them. Love them.
See, I take more of the Littlefinger approach.
You like Littlefinger?
I do.
Oh, he had one of the best deaths on the whole show.
Anyway, I did want to do some fun word association with you, but I thought to make it fun, I want Fahima's reaction or thoughts on these characters.
Okay.
First, and then
so we're asking Fahima. Okay.
Yeah, so these are for Fahima. I'll start off, but I want chat to step in with some also. Well, you can give me both. I want you to give me JLP and Fahima's if they differ.
Okay.
We'll start with, Whitebeard.
I'm just giving one word answer?
It doesn't have to be one word. Just like when that person comes to your mind, what do you think? Or an adjective or whatever. YOLO. Do what you want.
My answer, I think of Santa Claus. Fahima thinks animal killer.
Oh, yes,
Above all
that's
else, she
right.
watched that lair burn so
Yeah.
many creatures alive. That was a formidable moment for her.
I also blame Jared for you thinking of Santa Claus when it comes to Whitebeard. But no, that's true. I know that Fahima and Whitebeard are not friends. Uh, Loudmouth.
I think silly. I just think silly. Both me and Fahima think he's silly.
Fesh.
Um,
Not
he's the one who
Fish,
has the Sean
Jeff.
Connery voice, right?
No,
Doesn't
Sean
his
Connery.
voice sound like
No, no,
this?
no, 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 no. That
That's
is
Torvald.
Dondo.
Oh, it's Dondo.
That's
Oh my God.
Dondo. Yeah, yeah,
Wait, what
yeah.
does Torvald sound like? Doesn't he sound
Uh,
similar?
he does. He does. Yeah, he has the. I'm not gonna do it, but yeah, he sounds more like not gonna do it, but yeah,
No,
Torvald
do
and
it.
Dondo.
Do it.
No, no,
Do
no,
it.
no, no, no. But Torvald and Dondo sound similar. I think. Uh,
Because the
yeah,
first thing I
Highlander
think of
accent.
when I think of any NPC is Jeff's voice for them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
But as far as word association, for Fesh,
Fesh is James's
his
the
surrogate
scholar.
dad.
Yes.
Yeah. Um,
Ooh.
I think he has. I think he has secrets. He has information that we still need to get from him.
JLP or Fahima thinks that.
Both.
Ooh.
Because he is only one of the 3 people that had the key to the place where we found the book. So I want to know more about that. And I think that's going to come into play more soon.
We can only hope. Young Mo.
Poor boy. Poor boy. That's what I think. I just think about him getting thrown to the bottom of the sea with his mom.
Dark, deep,
Yeah.
right? Literally. Corbin Plate says Achirai.
I think about how there's a baby about to be born and I want to be there for it. Oh my God. Fahima's the Chirai baby is going to just be born somewhere and her mom's not going to be there.
Forget the heroes of Bingo. I'm not there for that egg, and that's what's important.
Yeah. I need to
Brandy,
escape from the Ashen Mage so I can get to that baby Achirai.
just that's all. Got to be there on the due date. That's important. Brandy says Granny Dumplestep.
Badass.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. 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 Ouroboros says Maud.
Who? Oh, Maud?
Maud. Yeah.
I think of her flirting with James and how funny that was. Oh my gosh.
See, I feel you and Fahima would love that moment.
Making
But
James uncomfortable is one of Fahima's favorite pastimes.
I secretly love it too, but don't tell me. Hornis says Jorl. We'll do 3 more. Hornis says Jorl.
Jorl? Oh man. Again, poor guy. Poor guy. He's in jail. When are we ever gonna get him out?
Never.
This is like the bad part of collateral damage. Poor guy.
But true, right? Like it happens. It happens.
It's so sad.
Life is pain, you know? I'll go. Good job, Laura.
I think of the Candle Queen now when I think of Uggo. And I think about his Candle Queen journey, and I think of Light, which is cool because I think you asked me, a year ago, I would have said a lot of like suppressed anger.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's gone through this great journey where he's able to find his light.
Okay, I like 3 more. Someone in chat, I don't remember, said Shilther God.
For Fahima, curiosity. Overwhelming curiosity. When Uggo ran into the Shothragot cloud, I think Fahima would have liked to do that too. She wants to meet this Shothragot and see what all the
hype is about.
Yeah. What I think about Shothragot is I'm just really curious as to what his end game is, like how he's going to connect to everything in the end, because it really feels like Jeff is going to have us all connected in some intricately woven way, and I think Shothragot has to be the key for Morgan, for James.
Interesting. Cosmic Lord 09, and I think it was Ouroboros said Diptha.
Diptha. It's on my to-do list before Wednesday to go back and watch my huh?
Nothing. I said, is it in your notes?
Yeah, it is. To go back and watch the Diptha scene, because I bet she said something that I didn't notice at the time, because it was like episode 3 or something. And she knew that Fahima was different. She knew that Fahima was something extraordinary. Yeah, I think there's a lot there. But she's gone now, so we have to go rescue her with Torvald.
We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it's even true.
Right. Everyone in chat basically wants to know Fahima's thoughts on Vic.
On Vic? I think she thinks of Vic as kind of like an abuser. Because Vic, from Civ's description, made his life a living hell. I mean, to the point where Fahima was ready to like cut a bee when she met her. And and now, I mean, I don't know what Jared's reaction was like after the fallout of the separation and when Vic died, but I can only imagine he was probably heartbroken. And so I just feel like I don't know, but she gave us that hint about going to the grave. I think there's a lot that I don't know about Vic. I would like to know more. And I think it's too bad that she died, because I would have liked to get to know that NPC a lot more.
Yeah, because that's why I'm assuming chat was curious, is because the only interaction that Fahima has had about Vic is her and Civ's conversation about her, which
was overall very negative. And then we confront her and she's like, we could save Civ too, you said. And then she smashes the urn, which like essentially saves everybody, but then she dies. Ugh. I don't know. I would have liked to see a love triangle too if she hadn't died. That would have been cool.
Who said she died?
Well, she flew far away.
Isn't it D&D all about magic?
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I guess we'll hope. We'll hope she's not dead.
I'm just curious, like.
I mean, do you guys know something I don't know? Was she like still standing there?
I was just, hey, you're the expert D&D player, and all I know is I was told, in a world of magic, anything's possible. That's all.
Well, yeah, you can resurrect people.
I'm just curious why you're so determined she's dead. I'm just curious, that's all.
Didn't he say she flew like hundreds or thousands of feet away or something?
I don't know. I'm just curious.
I feel like you're not telling me something.
I think that I appreciate you being here with us today. I think you are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, yes, I appreciate your insights, your wisdoms, your fun. You're fun. And I wanted to give you final thoughts or anything else you wanted to say. Any other teasers you want to drop? Because it's not like you haven't dropped a few good ones that you want to say before I let you go feed Pebbles.
Oh, you're thinking of Pebbles. That's so sweet.
Oh.
I think I let it all show in this interview.
Mm.
There's a lot that we still need to figure out. I feel heavy weight on my shoulders
Ooh.
being someone who doesn't have a good memory to do my research and make sure I'm asking the right questions and I'm like putting together the pieces where they belong. But I do feel like I finally crested a point in the show where I'm putting the pieces together and the puzzle is beginning to show in a really clear way. And I think that's really, really cool. And I'm excited to explore more of it on Wednesday and figure out more about these drow.
Me too. Me too. You said it beautifully. I'm truly excited to see Fahima, like I said, stand on her own, see what conclusions she's drawn, what you're drawing. Maybe do you have the puzzle piece up right? The pieces, are they really? Jeff's just so good at just. So it's
It's a lot missing
exciting.
from the puzzle still.
Yeah, and I think overall I will give you a tease. I think in the as a community in the no cast zone, we are very curious what Fahima is going to potentially ask and what she's going to do. That's our most curious of what direction is she going to actually take, because she's got so many options, so many options.
Yeah.
So that's what we're most curious of on how she's going to do. So
Well, I'm glad it's engaging. I'm glad you're enjoying it because that's
so
the goal,
much.
that it's an enjoyable story to watch and that you feel like you're there with her and you're involved and there's still mystery there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mazakil says the Dendron has saved my life, honestly, and a lot.
Oh, me
Truly,
too.
if you ever doubt Jessica, just remember we really are right there with you every Wednesday, blowing up the live chat. We really do feel like we are right beside Fahima in a lot of ways. I don't remember who said it first. I don't know if it was Jeff or whoever, but we really do feel like a sixth player. We really, every time you guys feel
Good.
emotions, we feel emotions.
I
Every
wish
time
we
you
could
want to yell, huh?
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say every time you want to yell at the screen, we want to yell at the screen.
I was gonna say I wish that instead of since Fahima can't get forces of good right now, I wish that there could be like little cards that pop up in the bottom of the screen that are like, here's the fact that you're looking for from the past, from episode 36. Here's the fact. Fahima's like, wait, what did Jiptha say? If you're like, this is exactly what she
the
said. Here
the
you
chat
go.
is the chat is gonna buy you cliff notes.
Can we just like get on a shared Google Doc? Can you just like message me? No. I'm doing my research.
Do your
I'm
research.
putting things together, and it's really exciting to like just sit there and like literally like think about what Fahima would do and really inhabit her as a character and be like, okay, what does she actually think about this? What does all of this mean?
Yeah, and maybe we'll find out more in another diary entry soon. Possible.
I have been wanting to write. I was going to say that actually. I've been wanting to write in Fahima's diary, but I don't want to give away her thought process before it
Yeah,
actually happens. So sadly, I haven't been able to journal in a couple weeks, but I've
I
got
think
some
that's fair.
ideas.
I think that's fair, and I love your insights in retrospect. But we truly, again, I mean it. We love being there with you, learning and growing with you and with Fahima. So it is amazing. Jessica. We're going to introduce Pebbles and Lily when we're done with this. They're going to eat together. It's going to be
Yep,
awesome. And we should do this again sometime because
I
you
would
are
love to.
beautiful and you're amazing. Thank
So
you
are
so
you.
much. And
Yeah, thank you
without
for having
further,
me.
everybody, until tomorrow. Nope, sorry, it's not Tuesday, it's Monday.
Right?
Until
It feels like it's tomorrow.
it's until Wednesday or until the podcast or until Friday. Humankind, guys. Be
Be both.
bold. Oh.